Hello GM Gamers, it's CoachFury here. We're back today with episode 2 of our Utah Jazz Let's Play series, where we are going to try and win a title or several titles with the Karl Malone and John Stockton era of the Utah Jazz, the dynamic tandem that they were. And we're back today. Last episode and the very first episode we sort of went through the team and looked at what we were going to try and accomplish. And today we're just going to try and get some stuff done really. We're going to crack on and we've played our first game last episode. We managed to sneak out a nice win over the Phoenix Suns with a late rally back from them in the third, but we managed to outdo them in the end. And today we're going to just try and get through some games, see what happens, maybe look at some trade options, but basically we just got to try and get through some of this season and see where we stand in the Western Conference. So let's go crack on. I think what we'll do is we'll any games that are kind of high level important games we'll probably sim in the 2D engine, and anything else we'll probably just quickly sim through and see how we get on in each game. So starting off today really, we've got our next game coming up where we're on the road to the Sacramento Kings. Hopefully a team where we should get a result against. The Kings are not a particularly great franchise at the moment in this era. I think they've got, if I remember right, Mitch Richmond and pretty much not a lot else. Let's have a quick look. Okay, so it's not the Mitch Richmond era. We're probably about 5 or 6 years behind before that. Yeah, there's not a lot to go home about that in terms of their roster. So hopefully we can sneak out a win and start this episode off with a bang, really. So let's see how we get on against the Sacramento Kings. Okay, cool. So we managed to get quite a comfortable win in the end. It looks like Karl Malone didn't have a great shooting night. Dantley sort of carried us a little bit, but we managed to play some really good defense, limiting them to just 37% shooting. So that's good to see. Forcing some blocks and turnovers on our end. So good start to the episode. Let's see how we get on with the next game. I don't know whether we had an injury. I saw an injury pop up actually. Let's have a quick look. Oh, okay, so that might be why Karl Malone didn't shoot particularly well, because he went out injured. So we'll readjust this rotation here. We'll put Malone obviously on the bench. I need to actually very quickly, because I think it looks like the CPU is managing the depth chart, so we don't want that. We want to do that ourselves. So let's go on to our next game, which is a couple of days away. It looks like. Yep, several days away. Nice little break here, hopefully. Okay, so we're up against the Thunder or the Sonics at the time, who are 1-1. Let's see how we get on. Oh, it says we lost a game. Maybe I missed one. Hang on. Did I miss a game? Oh, okay, so I missed one game. We lost to Denver. Close one by 4. Denver with a late rally. We held them to 11 points in the third, but they just came back at us in that fourth quarter. Okay. Okay, so we're now 2-1. Let's move on to our next game, which is the OKC Thunder, which was the Seattle Sonics at the time, but unfortunately this mod doesn't obviously have the old teams. So let's see how we get on. See if we can get back to our winning ways. And we have managed to do that in quite a convincing fashion, it looks like. Yeah, good stuff. So Henderson did fairly well against us, but we stopped their main threat, which was Tom Chambers. Those of you who may remember, he had a particular Sega game that was really good at the time, that I enjoyed. But he didn't do that well against us in this one. It looks like John Stockton had a pretty cracking game actually. 25 points. Fairly good, strong performance from us there. Let's go on to our next game. So far we're 3-1, so we've started the season with quite a good buzz. Okay, up against the Nuggets again. 3-1. We're at home this time, so let's see if we can pull out that win. And yeah, look, we managed to do it convincingly at home. Losing on the road to Denver is always a tough place to go there with the altitude, but we've done well here. Restricted a lot of their shooting down. We did very well in terms of grabbing the steals, it looks like. Ricky Green, our sort of duo point guard situation, seems to be working out pretty well for us at the minute. Either one of them seems to be doing fairly strong for us. Fairly happy with that. That's good. So we're now what's that? We're 4-1 now. Who have we got coming up next? Okay, so we've got the Trailblazers coming up next at home, and we managed to get the win there. If you saw that screen, up by 9, it looks like, and it went to overtime. First overtime game we've had. Yeah, it looks like pretty neck and neck actually until the overtime situation, and we managed to squeak out the result there. Look at that, Dantley's must be, he's averaging stupid amounts of points for us at the minute. So I know we said at the beginning whether we would actually keep Dantley or not, but he seems to be our primary scorer at the moment, whilst Malone and Stockton are developing. Let's go on to our next game. A little bit of a break here. We'll probably stop when we get to 10 games and do a little bit of a review of where we are now, I think. So we're up against the 4-1 Warriors on the road. See if we can cause a bit of an upset there. No, unfortunately it doesn't look like we can. Looks like, okay, they probably got the best of us there. We had a pretty terrible shooting night. Hansen decided to just chuck up 15 shots off the bench for 37 minutes. It looks like we hit some significant foul trouble as well, which probably didn't help us. And we go straight into a back-to-back here, back at home against the Clippers, who are 5-2 as well. And we managed to secure the home win there as well. Yeah, it looks like a fairly good result for us. Bit of a better performance shooting wise. Looks like we're still. Dantley just seems to be a bit of a monster for us this year. Look at that, 23.7 more or less in terms of assist and rebounds, 1.8 steals. He looks like he's performing like a bit of an all-star for us at the moment. So might have changed our thinking there whether we want to cash him in or not. So we're now 6-2. We're up against the 3-6 Dallas Mavericks, which I'm not sure whether they actually were a franchise at that time, but that's okay. We'll go with that. So we get the win on the road against Dallas. Okay, not the best performance from. Interesting. Derek Harper didn't play. He must be injured. Good stuff. So I think actually we should check really whether Malone is back, whether we can put him back in the rotation. Okay, so Malone is back. We obviously want to get him straight back in. Let's get them to suggest. So I don't know why the AI seems to have this thing about putting Ricky Green in at point guard when I actually prefer to have Stockton. I mean, I don't mind Green sort of being one of the guard places because he's been playing pretty well for us actually, averaging 18 points. But I think he's better suited to the shooting guard role because whilst his scoring's probably a little bit low, so he's not going to create his own shot that much. He's actually not a bad shooter really from mid-range and inside, which is quite handy really. Obviously, going back actually, it looks like he's very much one side of the court guy at the moment. So I'm more happy with him actually just playing the shooting guard role. We obviously want to probably put his minutes up. We don't want Hansen in as much, so I might put him back down to about 75. We'll put Stockton down to probably about 80, so he definitely plays more minutes. Obviously Dantley in at 65, sub out rate, so he's quite keen for us and quite crucial for us at the minute. And we'll just get the AI to suggest that again. I'm not sure why in this game, I still haven't quite worked it out, but the AI seems to have a thing where it kind of just basically takes the entire starting 5 out of the rotation at the end of each quarter. Key ends of the quarter. So in the half it keeps them in. End of the third it sort of drops everyone out and then chucks them in. We might review that later on, but for now it seems to be working. Let's get on and get up to 10 games done, and then after this game we'll just do a quick review to see where we are. So we're at home against the Spurs. Not the Spurs are the powerhouse that you remember now, but it's just quite a rebuilding Spurs at this time in this era. So hopefully we can get the win there. Yeah, okay, good. We managed to get the win at home, so that's a good result. Dantley 43 points. Oh my goodness. So okay. Malone didn't do great when he came back in for his first start. Perhaps he's a bit rusty. So yeah, let's have a quick look at the standings and see where we are. So in terms of conference, we're second in the conference behind the Warriors. So we've got off to quite a good start here. We're 8-2. Playing pretty well actually, pretty solidly. Let's have a look where we sit in terms of the power rankings as well, because that's always quite interesting to see how the game does that. So in terms of the power rankings, it has us at third. We were number one as of last week, but I'm guessing that loss we had has dropped us back down here. But in terms of our defensive rating, we are the number one ranked defensive team, which is I would kind of expect with Malone and Eaton in there at sort of centre positions, and we've generally got fairly good defence across the whole team. Obviously our offensive rating isn't particularly great at the minute. I think we're relying quite heavily on Dantley, so the positive and negatives of that is that Dantley's just been insane for us, but I guess the negative factor is that we're not really playing a team game at the moment. So let's have a little look at our emails that we've got. So we've got our generic starting the game emails, so we can probably delete them. And we've got some scouting ones come up. So for those of you who tuned into the first episode, you'll see that obviously very start of the game you assign your scouting ratings to look at the draft that's coming up. And we kind of mentioned that there was some interesting players in here for those of you who follow this era. So Dennis Rodman's probably one that stands out for most people. His crazy antics and his run with the Pistons and the Bulls. For those of you who follow the international game, Sabonis was obviously a bit of a cult hero in Portland. You've then got Jeff Hornacek who actually ended up in the Jazz for this era as well. So yeah, a couple of interesting players come in the draft. And one of the nice things about this game in terms of the scouting aspect is you assign points based on regions of America and then the rest of the world pretty much. But the nice thing is you get emails sent to you pretty much on a weekly basis of players that your scouting team or your coaching team think are good in this draft. So it's quite nice we can keep hold of these, because it might find a sleeper for us in the draft that we might not necessarily look at. So see here for example, it says Nate McMillan, solid overall, some flashes of brilliance, probably not going to be a superstar but could be a starter at some point. Kevin Duckworth, I'm guessing similar kind of text. Similar text with Dawkins as well. So these are all interesting things, because obviously depending on where we draft, we might not have to try and find that sort of hidden gem that can help us sort of develop and build as we're going forward. So we'll keep an eye on that, and we'll obviously come back and probably look at these before the draft as well. But we're a little while away from that now. Let's have a little look at the standings. So we obviously said that we were sort of second division, I guess, in terms of our competition. The Bulls are the one that we're obviously trying to sort of beat, is one of the side angles of this, to make sure that we get more rings than Jordan in this game, and to make sure we win at least one title. So obviously this Bulls team is very much rebuilding at this time around Michael Jordan. Still got some of the old guard here, Charles Oakley, who ended up going to New York in the end as part of the trade for that one. Some of these old players, John Paxson's around, but a lot of these guys obviously end up sort of rolling off the roster eventually and moving on. Still a bit rebuilding there, whereas we're probably in a little bit better shape at the minute, because I kind of guess we've kind of got our stars already, alongside Stockton, Malone, and then we've got Dantley, who's been exceptional for us so far. So other things that we can kind of quickly have a look at actually, before we sort of carry on and just sort of try and blast through the sim, to get us through a little bit of this season. A couple of things that I really like about Draft Day Sports Pro Basketball 20 and some of the upgrades that they've done is you get quite a nice little snapshot of your team rankings here. So you can see it gives us a snapshot of our offensive rating, defensive rating, and sort of where we're sitting in the pack really. So we're not a great 3-point percentage team. That's fine. Not expecting that from this team. And we're number one in steals. We're number one in defense, which has kind of been carrying us forward really. So that's great to see. And the other things we've got that I really like this is the lineup tracking. Because what you can see here is you can see which lineups are kind of working really well and which ones are not. And you can see one of the things that we need to try and minimise is this John Stockton, Hanson, Dantley, Thurl Bailey and Mark Eaton lineup. If we can limit that, because that seems to be very ineffective in our depth chart, then we'll obviously, hopefully, in theory, have a better rotation fit sitting there. So I'm guessing by the number of minutes this team has played, 35, obviously when the likes of Malone was out, I'd imagine this rotation was probably used a little bit more. But one of the things we can probably do right away is just have a little look and see when this lineup is used and adjust it to a lineup that's more effective. So, for example, we can see here that the lineup that sort of played okay minutes is Hansen, Green, Dantney, Malone, Eaton. You know, the one with Thurl Bailey in is basically Hansen in at shooting guard, Thurl Bailey in there as sort of power forward. So we'll just quick look. Is there any rotation where we've got John Stockton, Hansen, Bailey, and Eaton and Dantney in all as sort of same position? So you can see here, one of the things here is we've got pretty much that lineup in here minus Wilkins. So we probably want to think about adjusting that. So we might necessarily not put Bailey in, we'll put Malone in there, but we might bring Bailey into rotation slightly earlier so that he is in a slightly different rotation, and we'll see if that works more effective than what we've got here at the minute. You can probably see here that we don't think we've necessarily got that rotation anywhere else apart from this one here. So you can see this Hansen point guard situation probably is not really working effectively for us. So we'll just switch that around. We'll basically play Hansen at shooting guard primarily, and we'll just make sure that when Stockton comes out of the rotation here quite late on, that Green is in at point guard, and we'll see if that works for us. So in terms of games we've got coming up, should we have a quick look at that and see whether we've got any sort of crucial games coming up? Let's go to our dashboard. So we've got Mavericks, Suns, Kings. Are we playing anyone who's sort of around the top? Probably not. So I'm probably going to sim sort of to the end of the month, I think, unless we get any injuries, and see how we get on. And I think we'll come back possibly to. We're not playing the 76ers anytime soon, it looks like. We playing anyone else who's sort of up the top that we might want to have a little look at. So we're not playing the Warriors anytime soon, because I think we've played them once already. We do, yeah. I think we'll just sim this month and see how we get on, unless we have any significant injuries. We'll obviously keep the alerts on if we have any action emails, and we'll just sim to that date, and we'll come back and review it at that point. But so far, it seems like our initial start to the season has gone fairly well. Our rotations seem to be working okay. We've got an injury there quite early on actually in this sim. So let's have a little look. Who's out injured? Oh my goodness me. Okay. So, oh no. Dantney has broken his elbow. Oh, our main scorer is out. I can't see what Stockton's actually out for. So Stockton's out for 4 days. Malone's out for 5 days. And Dantney's out for 46. Okay, that's pretty unfortunate for us. So let's have a look. So we're going to need to adjust this rotation. So I think what I'll do is I'll put this back, and one of the great things about Draft Day Sports 20, one thing I've added is you can store lineups. So we know that this lineup is probably our best lineup at the moment. So we're going to store that, and we can bring it back at any time. And I think I'm just going to quickly get the AI to suggest everything and see how this looks. So, okay, couple of issues we've got here then. It looks like because we've got Stockton out, we don't really have an additional point guard at the moment. We've obviously got 3 empty rotation slots. So we're probably going to have to delve into the free agency market quite early on here and see whether we can just get someone to come in and play some bench minutes for us. So let's have a look what's available. Okay, let's filter this. We just want a point guard essentially. Okay, so they're all 1 star, so we're not going to be getting anyone any good basically off of this. They're going to have to play some bench minutes. I guess what's the crucial thing for us really? We just want someone to come in and not cause turnovers really. If we got someone who can come in and not cause turnovers and play a bit of defense, then we might be okay. So let's have a look. So we've got a guy named Adrian Boston who seems to have a 0 in free throw shooting. Okay. John Farrell, who also has a 0 in free throw shooting. His passing handling's not terrible. His defense leaves a little bit to be desired. Adrian Boston seems to have a bit better defensive ability, so maybe we go for him. I mean, we're looking at a best of a bad bunch here. I think we'll just bring Adrian Boston in on a sort of a 1-year deal. We can bring him in and play him in a two-way contract where he'd go on to our sort of D League or G League team. He could play a handful of games for us in the Pro League if we want to, and we can convert him up. But obviously, we don't want to convert him up. We want to bring him straight in because we need him. We need him on the bench. So we're going to just sign him immediately. And we're going to go back to our depth chart. We'll get the AI to have a look at it again. And okay, the AI does not want to play him. Okay, but we need to play you, I'm afraid. So you're going to play a bit of point guard only. You'll only play really significant, well, not significant minutes. Well, you're going to have to play 20 minutes, it looks like. We're probably going to run Green a little bit more and limit you down. So we'll probably have you on the sub out of like 90. So you're only going to come in really in garbage time and when we absolutely need to rest Green, basically. So Green, you're going to be playing a lot more minutes, I'm afraid. And it looks like, obviously, so Hansen's gone in to play shooting guard, but only 24 minutes of shooting guard. Okay. We obviously want you to play slightly more minutes of shooting guard. So we're going to put you in here. We'll leave you in at this point because we don't want Mannion to play too many minutes because he's really deep down in our rotation. Whereas we want Hansen probably to play most of the minutes. Not sure why Stockton is assigned here to play any minutes because you're injured. You're out for 4 days. I don't really want to risk you getting injured anymore. So, okay. I think we're going to go with something like that. So, unfortunately, it means that Green and Hansen are going to have to play 40 minutes. So, they're going to have to play majority of the games. We'll bring Boston in if we absolutely need him. Manon will play sort of 14 minutes. He's going to have to play a slightly higher. Same with Fred Roberts, who hasn't really played any minutes for us whatsoever. But that's fine. We're just going to have to roll with this for probably a game or two. So I'm probably going to just play through the 4 days and then we'll readjust the lineup to get back to it. So we're up against the 7-7 Pacers. If hopefully we've got enough talent in here to get the win. But okay, as soon as I say that, obviously we don't. Got pretty much destroyed. Yep, some atrocious second and third quarters there. Didn't really play any defense. Not the best game for us. Hopefully we can get through these games and bring our main guys back in, Stockton, Malone, and then sort of sim forward really. So let's have a look. I think they might have sort of 2 days left until they're kind of back. Okay, so Stockton is back, so we can bring him back in. Malone is back as well, so that's crucial for us. So I don't know why the engine always does that. Yeah, okay, so I don't really want Boston playing this many minutes, guys. I really want him playing hardly anything. So why are you playing so many minutes? Actually, you know what am I going to do? I think okay, Malone's still out, so I'm not going to restore the lineup. That's what I was thinking I might do. Yeah, okay, let's go with that. I think that's probably the best we're going to get. I think Green, you're going to play some more minutes. Obviously, I don't want, when Stockton comes out, you can come in. Manon, you can play there. Perhaps I think what we're going to do, guys, is we're going to take Boston completely out. Any time that Stockton comes out, Green goes in, which means he's going to play some more minutes, but that's fine. He's got the capability to do that. And then I think anything else is going to be covered by Manon, I think. Let's have a look. How's he actually been playing? Has he been shooting okay? Okay, so he's not really going to take that many shots. Would you rather have him or Manon in? That's the question. I mean, it's both pretty terrible. I mean, Manon's a bit of a better shooter. Roberts, 6 or 10, you probably can't play shooting guard. Boston, your defense is pretty good. He's 6'1". I think I might change this up, and I might give Boston a run. Actually, I think you might be better suited defensively than the likes of Malone. So you're going to have a bit more of a sub out rate, 85. You're going to be playing 18 minutes, and we'll see how that works. I mean, I could always put, Scurry's. If there's any point where Scurry's out, we can probably put you in. Yeah. Your sub out rate's 85. Yeah, okay, and obviously want you to play shooting guard now. Yeah, okay, let's roll with that, I think, for the next game. See how we get on. Malone will be back after the next game, so this small adjustment is going to be hopefully restored. But we're now 11-5 up against the Trailblazers, who are 9-7. And it looks like we've lost by 6 there. So injuries are kind of biting us at the minute. Yeah, okay, so Stockton kind of having to take on a lot of the offensive load because no Dantley and no Malone. But Malone is back now, so we can adjust this this depth chart to put him back in. The Scurry's now out as well. Okay, I suggest all. Yeah, okay, I can go with that. I can go with that. I don't know why. Right, let's restore the lineup, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put Bailey in at small forward. Yeah. You're going to take up all of Dantley's minutes. And I think Malone's going to have to take over some of the point, some of the small forward minutes here. They come out there, going to come out here, and in the fourth you come out probably here. We've obviously got to find Scurry's minutes as well, so no surprise there that you can take over those in terms of Hanson. And then Dantley's power forward minutes, I think they can just simply go to Wilkins if we can. So I think we'll just make some minor adjustments here. Malone, you're going to have to play 40 minutes. Yeah, let's go with that. So Malone, you're an 85, 75. Going to put you down to 70 because you're going to be playing heavy minutes. The same with you, Malone. You're going to be playing heavy minutes, guys. You're going to be playing some heavier minutes, unfortunately. Depth is kind of going to be a killer for us. But yeah, let's go. Right, let's sim forward because hopefully we won't get any more injuries. So I think we were aiming for sort of early December. I think was where we were going for it. So let's sim forward and see how we get on. So I'm hoping we can keep ourselves in the playoff hunt really without Dantley. It seems like he was quite an essential piece of our rotation, and it seems like as soon as we get to the end of November we've hit another injury. Let's have a look who's been injured. Okay, so Bailey's out. Malone is out. Okay. Some mild injuries we're hitting up here. How have we been doing in terms of standings? Okay, so we're now 13-8. It looks like we've dropped down a little bit from our sort of fire start, really. Yeah, okay, so we've sort of been on a losing streak of quite a lot of games. 2, 4, 5 games, blimey. And then we just managed to get our wins back and we've hit injuries. Okay. So how long are they out for? They're out for 8 days and 1 day. So have we got a game? No, we haven't got a game, so we can go that 1 day and get Bailey back at least. We can go another day. Look at that, we've got a nice 3-day break. That's handy for us. And we're up against the Pistons next. Okay, so Malone's out for 4 days. Can he play? I don't know whether he can play with a mild concussion. Shall we see? I actually don't know. because I don't really want to change the rotation too much. Oh, okay, so he can't play with a mild concussion. I was very hopeful with that. Let's take him straight out then. So I think, who are we going to put in there? I think, well, Bailey might have to come in at power forward, and I think Scurry is the one that's going to have to sort of adjust here. Let's put your minutes down. Your minutes down. Okay, so this AI suggesting Hansen in, but it's really weird. It only suggests they play 24 minutes. I don't know why that's so low. I mean, no, I'd rather them play more minutes, if I'm honest. Yeah, that's better. That's more like it. I'd rather our starters play more minutes, and then we have our rotation guys in as and when we need them. Yeah, okay, I'm okay with that. So we're going to play Bailey in at power forward. Hansen's going to come in at small forward, and hopefully the starters get us a win. Okay, so it wasn't enough to get the win on the road against the Pistons here. We're dropping into 0.500. And we've got a comment, and we've got Nate McMillan as well. Another scouting report on him. Okay. Yeah, we've been happy with his play. Okay. His attitude increasing, his playing effort decreases because he now has a swelled head. Okay. Interesting. So we go through another game. Basically, when we get Malone back in the lineup, we'll readjust it, and we'll then resim probably to January, I think, at this point. So Malone is still out for 2 more days, so we're going to have to run with this lineup for another game against the 10 and 13 Brooklyn Nets. And we lose on the road to Brooklyn. Definitely struggling. As soon as we hit injuries, we definitely don't have the depth available. So it's something we're going to have to think about in terms of if we're going to turn this team into a championship roster. We just don't have the depth beyond the sort of the top 5 guys. Okay, so we're up against the 13 and 13 Bucks, and we have dropped down to 13 and 11. All went really well when we had our starting lineup. I mean, we were looking good, but now it looks like that's not going to be the case. Okay, let's restore our lineup. So Malone, you're obviously back in there. Bailey, you are going to be taking Dantley's minutes again, which is what we had before. And Hansen, you need to come back up into here. Wilkins into here. Scurry into there. And that's what we're going to run. So Dantley, yeah, okay, so your minutes again are going to be taken by Bailey, and any other spaces, I think Scurry can hopefully handle the load for that. Okay, it's really weird. Our overtime looks a bit odd. So overtime, we want our starting 5 in. We don't want the bench to come in there. I think we're going to give you a breather here. Actually, no, there. That's it. And so we've got Hansen coming in at shooting guard. Yeah, okay. Point guard, backup garbage minutes can be. Where is he? Our man Boston, who we signed as a free agent. Yeah, let's go with that. I think it still keeps our starters out there for quite heavy minutes, but we're gonna just have to go with that. See if we can get back to winning ways here as we take on the Bucks. Yeah, good stuff. So finally, we've got 4 of our starting 5 back in, and we managed to get the win and stop that rot. Malone putting up some solid numbers. Stockton being pretty good. Bailey coming in with some good numbers as well. So yeah, we're in better shape now. So let's get on and go. Let's get some of these games done and get to January. Probably do a bit of a recap there before we end this episode. Hopefully we don't get any other injuries. That's what I'm praying for. Because if we get any other injuries, we're going to have to redo another readjustment. And it looks like we have. We've only gone a couple of days and we've hit another injury. Okay. Okay, so why is Dantley? Why are you playing minutes, friend? You have 19 days, so you're going to be back pretty soon. We've got an email in the inbox. A comment wanted. Okay, so I think last time we had a similar thing about Stockton. We said offer praise, and his attitude increased, but he didn't. His gameplay went down. So I think if we go no comment this time. Okay, so his playing effort has gone down anyway. Okay, still haven't quite got the hang of those comments yet. Something's a little bit new for me. Right, let's sim to that date. We're going to go to the 1st of January, hopefully. Recap where we are. I think it's probably fair to say that we've started the season really well. Had an injury, had several injuries, had to make a load of readjustments. Been struggling and hanging on here. It hasn't quite worked. So I'm guessing the engine has stopped because we've hit another injury. Who on earth is it this time? Oh, of course, so the only other starting 5 member who we haven't had out injured is now out injured in Eton for 4 days. So he's got a sore hand. Okay. Right. So how have we actually been doing? Let's have a quick look at that. So we've been a bit up and down really, wins and losses. I'm guessing we're about 0.500 now if I'm looking. Yeah, we're just a couple of games above 0.500, and the Spurs have just been on a tear. They didn't start very well, now 22 and 8. 76ers are still there. Yeah, injuries are playing a part in this first season, guys. He's out for 4 days. So I guess Wilkins will have to come in at centre. Hayes will take his position off the bench. I don't really want Hayes playing too many minutes, so because he is a complete and utter bench player. So I think we'll just give Wilkins some more minutes, like so, and we'll do that. We'll up you to sort of 70, so you play more minutes, and we'll go with that. I think we'll move you down. Yep. Okay, so Mannon's out as well. 14 days with back spasms. Okay, so I guess in terms of garbage minutes, Hansen, you'll have to just play that, unfortunately. Who are we up against? Okay, so we don't have a game this day. We don't have one that day, so I think he was out for 4 days. So we're gonna have to play the Bulls without him. 17-23, so they are completely down the bottom, and whilst we are fighting for sort of status in the playoffs really this year at the minute. Okay, so we lose on the road to the Bulls, and we go into our next game hopefully with Eaton back. I believe he's back now, so we can readjust our lineup. Yep, okay, good. So he's back. So oh no, I've lost my lineup. Okay, right. Quick readjustment is going to be needed. I accidentally clicked the store lineup button and I've lost my lineup. So sorry about that. We're going to have to quickly change this up. So you're at 70, you're at 75, Hanson 75, Bailey 70, Malone 70. Okay. I guess one of the nice things is that Bailey can go back on the bench now. Hayes is back, but we're not playing him anyway. You are basically going to play hardly any minutes. Wilkins, I was happy with what you were doing. You could probably come in at 80 now. Eaton at 70. And AI suggest. Yeah, okay. So I don't want Boston playing any minutes. You're going to take those up. And again, you're going to take those. And when we need a shooting guard, where's Hanson when we need him? There he is. Hanson, you're going to come in at there. And Bailey, you're going to take the minutes either side of that. And then the final point guard slot going there. And for some reason, Bailey comes in as shooting guard for the end, but that's fine. I don't really want that. And we're going to go with that, I think. Yeah, cool. Right, let's try and get through the end of the season quickly. Before we end this episode, slightly longer than our usual episodes. But we've hit some injury snags. We've definitely hit some injury snags to end out our first sort of half of the season. Really, we're probably going to be about 0.500, I think. Which means next time when we come back, we're going to probably have a little look around the trade deadline, see if we can make some moves. I think it's fair to say that when we have our starting five out, we're probably one of the better teams in the league. But the problem is we just don't have the depth for that. So we end up in January. Where are we looking at? Okay, so we've been very mixed bag. Probably more losses than wins there. So we've probably dropped a bit out of the standings here. So we're 19 and 17 in the conference. We are in 7th seed. Yeah, okay. So we've not been doing particularly great. Our home record has been okay. Our away record's been pretty atrocious, and we're 4 and 6 in the last 10. If you ever wanted any evidence that Dantley was pretty essential to this Utah Jazz team, as a great example. But the good news is that he is actually back now. So for our next episode, we can get him back in the lineup. We can see how we're doing, get to the trade deadline, and then have a look at some trades.